Okay, Lamont, here's a training for today. All right, so this is the email that I sent you yesterday, and here's a link to the main training page. I know we've gone over this before, but I wanted to record it. It's the main training's website is rrr247.com. And then what comes after that is RRR. And I want to specifically point something out. So when I click on that link, it opens it up. This is the main training. And the reason I say that is because when you first get going, you go to step one here. But then when you finish step one, you come back here and you start following step two, and then you go down and there's step three. So that's why we call this the main training page. Step one is the one that takes a lot of time as far as that's concerned because of well, it's the learning curve, different people learn at different speed. So I'll scroll back up here and I will hit step one or click on it. And we'll just, as a reminder here, these are the videos. And I had asked you, I think you said you watched this first one and then you fell asleep, and then the second one. So this is what I'm going to go over. This is PBS, setting up your Google backup and setting up your, then you're going to modify your affiliate contacts, which is not really much modification, if anything. He tells you in this video. This video, the second one here, I believe is about an hour long. Let me see, I just click.
Okay, now we're going to have some fun. We're going to go into the affiliate disclosures, the contact us, the homepage posts. And
yeah, so anyway, those three things. So this is just kind of an introduction. Well, no, this explains how to do the backup. So let me touch base on that real quick. Okay. So what you do is you open up your Google Drive and use Chrome. And so whatever your Gmail is, I use two different Gmails. So it doesn't really matter because I'm just using this as an example. So I don't really need to log into my other one. But when you click these 9 dots right here, you're going to get this icon that looks like this. And I think it starts out down here. I drug it. You can drag these around if you want mail there. You can move them around how you like them. Anyway, Drive looks like this triangle. So you open your Drive. Now I have a bunch of stuff on mine, and yours is probably going to be brand new and nothing on there unless you used it before. But this is your home for your Drive right here. And so, for instance, your website is 2j08.com. Now, I've done this with other students, so I have some different folders in here. Oh, no, this is my different email. This doesn't really matter. Anyway, you're going to have a blank thing here with no folders in it. And these are documents. And so if I want to see the folders, I click this one and it shows me the folders at the top. The documents that I have saved in this drive are still here as well. There's a difference between folders and docs, okay? So headlines and personal random stuff. So here's a backup for me right here. 2v97.com is my website, and that's why I have it listed as that. So in other words, here was a student I was working with. His was 6h8k.com, and I just showed him how to do it. So basically what you're going to do is when you get in your drive, you create a new folder, and by clicking new and click new folder, and then you name it. So I'm going to name this one just for sample purposes. 2J 08.com backup. And you might want to just do it exactly like this. So you have this main folder on your drive, and then you'll be able to put other things along the way and separate your stuff that way. So you create this. Okay, so now I have this folder, 2j08.com, and this is where we would put the backup for your website. Now you don't back up something that you haven't worked on because Rory has that backup. You don't need to back up his work. You need to back up your work. All right. So the way you do that and is pretty simple. I'll show you exactly how to do it here. So you create folders inside this folder. So it's 2J, my drive. Now the address is that's what they call it. It's an address, 2j08.com backup. All right, so I'm inside that folder. Now I create a new folder and I'm going to call this, let's see, home post. And the reason I'm naming it that is because even though he talks about the affiliate disclosures, but I think he has you back it up more for practice than any other reason, because there's really no modifications. It's legalese. It basically, states that yeah, we're affiliate marketers, and when you click on a link on our website, you can read it. You'll see what it says. But Google wants that on there. And so we have that on there. All right, now home posts and contact us. So what you're going to do, let me log into your website. So I loaded it before we got together here. Now you're going to, when you click on that link, if you're not logged in, it'll bring you here. If you're already logged in, it'll bring you here. When you click the link that you have saved on your bookmark bar. You can see I have all these different bookmarks. So that's why it's important to organize the bookmarks as you go. I mean, I have hundreds of bookmarks. Long story short is that's just something you need to figure out for yourself, what makes sense to you. I always look at it this way: when I'm saving files or bookmarks or whatever I'm saving, would I be able, if I completely forgot what I was doing, but I was trying to find it again, would I be able to find it? You know what I mean? Because if I don't label my stuff correctly, then I can't get back to where I was. At any rate, just a little bit of advice about that. So your homepage is looking like this. Visit site. And what you're going to do, I just created a folder that you're going to put these 3 backups inside of. But you need to create folders inside that main folder, and I'm going to show you exactly. So the first one is arts and entertainment. Okay, so inside, I'm in the 2j08.com backup folder. You create a new folder and name it arts and entertainment. Okay, so you create that. Now we have 2 folders in this folder. Okay, so I think once you watch the video, it's going to make sense to you what I'm explaining. But at any rate, I'll just do another one. Bottom line is you're going to have folders in your backup folder that has a label for every one of these categories. All right, so beauty and cosmetics is the next one. Create new and new folder. And I'm hitting the wrong key. Therefore. Okay, so I don't think I'll make one more. I don't really need to. I think you got the idea. Blockchain innovation would be the next one you need to create. So then when you modify your different pages, you have them organized for where you save your actual document with your backup on it. All right, so in other words, what I'm going to show you is, now I know we went over the difference between posts and pages. So posts appear on your homepage, 2j08.com/nothing. And there's 2 of them. So welcome to your online community. Get ready to be impressed. And if you scroll down here a little bit, you come to the date, and that's the end of the first post right here. So your posts are aligned on your homepage by the most recent date. It appears at the top. So this one is March 27th, 2024. And then this is the beginning of the second post. Okay, and benefits for you as part of the online community. All right, and then when you scroll down to the bottom of that, you're going to get to this March 26th, 2024. So that one's older than the one at the top. You could easily reverse the date, reverse the order if you wanted to, just by changing the date to a more recent date on this one. And whatever is the most recent date in the list of posts. So that's what I'm going to show you now. When I go back to your dashboard and I click on posts right here, hover over it, click on all posts, you only have two. And let me maximize my screen a little bit. And it's this: welcome to your online community. Get ready to be impressed, and benefits for you as you're part of this online community. All right. So, and then there's the published date. And these are the two things you need to keep track of, these green dots. Anyway, you go from your posts by hovering over it and you edit. Click when you hover over it, it gives you the edit button. There's other ways to do this, but I don't want to confuse you. So I'm just going to show you. This way is the main way. This is your dashboard. You're working from your dashboard. So I click on edit and it takes me where I can start modifying the page. In this case, it's a post. All right. So welcome to your online community. Get ready to be impressed. But so don't think we've really gone over this yet, but the bottom line is the edit mode looks different than the viewer mode. So if you want to see what this actually looks like, you got to go back to your home page and I'll show you. Click on visit site. This is what the world is seeing. Welcome to your online community. Get ready to be impressed. Okay, so since I did say there's another way to do it, you can scroll down by the date of this first post and you'll have a button that says edit this. And you can go exactly where I went from your dashboard to editing mode. All right, so just since we're recording it, that's quicker and handy. So I like to show people that. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to understand the Yoast, which is how we get the SEO, the free organic traffic from Google and other search engines, mainly Google, because they're the ones that, we partner with. So this post is written around the key phrase online community. So we need the online community, which is our key phrase for this post, and it works exact same in pages. All right, this part, what I'm explaining, needs to appear in the title. Now, this title doesn't have any variations. You don't get to modify other than the words. All right, so it's going to always be this big black stuff at the top, and that's called the title of. Mostly it'll be pages, but you have to modify these first two posts. Okay, so right here, we're going to modify the title, but we need to keep the focus key phrase in the title. So I'll just do this. I will copy that onto my clipboard because I know I'm going to use it. And then I will select it all and backspace it. And then I'll say something different than what Rory said. So it's we're glad you're on our online community. You can say whatever you want as long as it's not the same words that were there. All right, so now I've modified the title. Now the next step is we want to start modifying this content, right? So there's more than one way to do it. When I was first started, no one explained to me what would be the best way to do that. So I was just typing it out I would copy his and then type it out on, I was using Word for that. And then I would copy what I wrote and highlight his stuff and paste it right over. And the block would remain the same. And I would save it here and it would be different. So you could do it that way if you want to do it that way. But the real easy way to do it is like this. So WordPress is built in blocks. And you're only really going to concern yourself with 4 different types of blocks right now. Actually 3 on these 2 posts. So you have your paragraph block. And this, when you hover over it, it's paragraph. So whatever's active is what this little menu is talking about, is related to. And when you hover over the up down arrow or over on this side of the menu, you can see it outlines it in blue. So in case you're not sure, because watch what happens, that menu jumps around, and depending on how much screen space you have, it might be at the top, it might be at the bottom. Anyway, if you want to know what block this menu is talking about, just go over here and hover over it. It'll outline it for you. So this one, when you hover over, that's the little icon for heading. And this one is the icon for paragraph. Okay, so those are the two blocks that you need to worry about, that for the words. And then the other block is this image. We call it image, not a picture. It's good. It's image. So then that shows you, look, they have little mountains in their icon. Okay, so that's that. They're different. And this menu is different pertaining to whatever block is active. All right, so the Yoast is what keeps us on track for SEO. Okay, now Yoast also has, oh yeah, if you need more screen space, if you click it, it'll open it up and give you more. And if you click it again, and sometimes when you're watching Rory's video, you may see it like this. In other words, he doesn't have that toolbar over here on the side. That's because he has it in full screen mode. I usually keep this toolbar for my dashboard open. That's preference, however you like it. Just like this toolbar. I can lock this toolbar to be here at the top of my screen so it doesn't jump around by clicking top toolbar. All right, so if you like it that way, better, and you don't have to worry about if it gets hidden. That's kind of the bummer when you leave it jumping around. Sometimes, depending on where you clicked, so let me show you again. I'll take it off the top toolbar. I usually keep it because I know what I'm looking at, so I like it to jump around just because that's me. That's what I'm used to. So you can have it either way, is my point. So this is this toolbar pertains to whatever you're working on. If you don't have anything selected, like let's say I click out here in the white space of the page, in this case, a post, there's no toolbar because there's nothing selected, right? So that's basic, simple stuff. But an easy way to do it is if you click on this paragraph right here and you use this toolbar for this paragraph, and you click on insert after right here, it'll give you a new block. Okay, now you have a blank block and you can look at Rory's words. Okay, we'd like to welcome you to our online community and you need that focus key phrase in your first sentence of your first paragraph. So keep that in mind. We'd like to welcome you to our online community where great things are made available to you here. That's how he says it. So let's see, how can you say something different? Like I said, yeah, this is the writer block thing and it can be hard, especially on these posts, because none of it really makes sense. It's, other than it's just basically this is content marketing, so you have to have words. You have to put words out there. So okay, so anything is that sentence represents that first sentence that he made, right? So I just kind of thought of something and said, oh yeah, it can be, since I put an exclamation point right there, that's actually the first sentence. But it can be in the first or second sentence of the first paragraph. So it'll still qualify. These two things, you keep your eye on it when you're doing this, and they'll turn orange, and that's when you're going to need me to help you most likely explain stuff. Why did it not stay green? And then once you try and that happens, it'll be much easier to show you how the answer, because you will have already tried it. So, okay, so then just read his next sentence and say, this is an absolute awesome place to be. And he also said, available to you here. So I can probably combine those two thoughts together. So I wouldn't want to use exact I can use the word awesome if I want, but I'm just trying to modify this very first paragraph and show you how to get going doing this modification process. All right, so let's see. These are made available to you here, and then this is an absolute awesome place to be. All right, so let's make that sentence. We believe you're going to find value in the things. You know what? I'm going to say value, comma, and benefit the things you're going to find here. And then, so this vast community, now this toolbar is in my way and I can't read it. So that's what I'm talking about, why to freeze it at the top. So it's an easy way to get rid of it. What you do if that happens, and if you want to freeze it at the top, you can. And if you want to know, see, look, I did something wrong already. See, my readability turned orange. So let me see if I see what I've done here. Most likely, it's going to be transition words that I don't have enough transition words. So let's see, the way you find out is you click the down arrow button, and then right here, passive voice. And if you want to see what they're talking about, you click this little eyeball. So Rory's is passive voice, not mine. And I didn't speak in passive voice. I know that because I don't. Passive voice is past tense. They look at it this way. You could say, I went to the store and got eggs, or you could say, I'm going to the store to get eggs. And one is passive, I went to the store and got eggs, and the other is active, I am going to the store. So you can kind of get the idea, but passive voice is that. And transition words. So I need to add transition words here because he didn't have enough to begin with. And the one thing about transition words, I'm going to point this out since we're here on the recording. Transition words, when you click it, the eyeball, it's actually showing the ones that are good, not the ones that are bad. Okay, so that's the only one of these eyeball features that works that way. But I can add a transition word, a phrase. It's transition words and phrases. So, and benefit from the things that you're. So here's a transition. Watch me do a transition. Just let me read. I click in his, and then the menu jumps out of my way. This vast community information system, the more awesomeness you are going to discover. I don't know. That doesn't make really good sense to me. So what I think I'm going to say is something like, see, that just fixed that transition words when I typed in furthermore, because that's a transition words. So it's just like the way people talk. And if you listen to the news or something, you pay attention to it, you'll hear them say things like, as a matter of fact, or furthermore, or to clarify. It's just something to transition from one thought to another. And I actually have a tool that I use for this. So let me digress right here and show you that. And I'll click it into our WhatsApp menu. So I see I have a folder that I created called tools. So I put my bookmarks for the things that I use often in or for tools in here, and then ones that I use often I put at frequent. And then if you notice, I come down here right about here, it says transition words and phrases, something I found on the internet, and I'll share it with you so you're going to understand transition words once you read this information. Here's a whole bunch of them. Sometimes if I get writer block, I'll open this page and just start reading through here and say, okay, I'm going to transition. Oh, here, in the event that maybe I can say it that way, just an idea for you. Bottom line is, let me get this and paste it in our WhatsApp chat right now, so you'll have it there in case you want it. And if you don't, you just text me and I send it again. No problem. You can see how easy it is for me to find. I just want to make sure I remember to do it while I'm doing it. Okay, here we go. So there's the tool that I use for transition words. I don't really need it right now because we're not going to get that involved, but it does help, really. When you can't think of something to write, you just say that. Furthermore, now I lost my thought. It's easier to type when you're not talking. Okay. Furthermore, if I could get my fingers on the right keys, we know how awesome. See, now I'm using his word. This information and connections. So you don't have to say exactly what he's saying. You can say anything, but I'm about ready to explain something in a minute. And connections, IONS, are let's see, I already said benefit. I don't like to say use the same words. Are going to all right. So now if you notice here, I have about the same amount of words. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Right. And the reason is they do, and when I click these three lines, it shows me the outline of the document. So now there's 508 words on it. I should have showed you this before I started typing. But what you don't want to start out with 300 words and then end up with 100. You know what I'm saying? So just more is better. We have to have content. You can't just shorten it up. So we got to think of something, even if it's just like basically fluff, like really what I said there is not anything exciting or anything like that. It's just fluff and it's filling in the space. But, Google reads it, but I don't, a lot of people, the posts, and you're going to hear it in the video, they're there for the cosmetic purpose. It's part of our template. You're going to modify these once, and then you're going to be done with it. Okay. So you're not going to keep going back to posts. You're going to be working with the pages. And that's what we did yesterday with the anchor pages. All right. So you do want to get these done. And, I went back and redid them after a year of doing this because I didn't like what was there, what I had done when I first started. But this is the way we learn. Okay. So I am satisfied with my block now, my new paragraph. And so I can do is click in Rory's paragraph, and then I can click the three dots here. And down at the bottom of this list, I can click delete. Now his paragraph is gone. So I've modified the title on this post, and I might have modified the first paragraph. So I'll go ahead and click save right here, saving. Okay. And so if you remember, I said it was easier for me to go quicker if now you don't have to, you could copy this text and paste it somewhere else and then rewrite it there and then come back and paste it right over this text if you want to do it that way. That's totally up to you. That's how I started, but it's just, I know it's quicker to do it the way I'm doing it. So now what you do is you want to add another new block. And if you remember a minute ago, I had clicked on the three dots and insert after, right? Or add, it used to say insert, now it says add. Okay, so add after. But I'm not going to do that this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click at the end of the last word and type enter on my keyboard, and it gives me a block as soon as I do that. So now I have the new block to represent this block. And so I can look at his words and type. So I don't have to, and if you really wanted to, if you were afraid you were going to lose something, couldn't tell what his was or where you wrote and where he left off, you could just you don't even have to highlight it, to be honest with you. that's why I did it on Word, because I was afraid I was going to, not be able to remember what I was doing. So we have been trying to cover several different areas of interest, and we'll be adding some very unique ones in the days to come. Okay, so uh, I'm not going to say and. That's a complete thought. This is where we get to share with you many different areas of it. Okay, so I'll put a transition in the beginning of this sentence. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll type in this. This is where we get to share with share. I don't really like the way it reads, so this is where we get to share. Okay, so share. This is where we get to share many different areas of interest. Period. I guess I'll just clarify. This is where we get to share many different areas of interest.
That's not good enough for you anymore?
She likes it.
AC's on, you got this open.
I didn't turn the AC on.
I didn't turn it on.
And you do want to use the focus key phrase in your writing, not too much, and Yoast will let you know if you use it too much. But it's expected that your article or your poster page, whatever you're working on, is going to be about, it's going to have, here's what used to happen. People would use key phrases to drive traffic to their website, and it wouldn't be about that at all. And Google doesn't like that. So they do expect you to be using that key phrase throughout your text. And I'll show you, and they want to see it in a heading as well. Okay, so what did I write? I said, so please keep reading because please keep reading. I don't know if I need please keep reading because you will find our proven connections to be, I wouldn't say acceptable, I'd say something more, be of value. No, I think it does. You need a comma because is actually a transition. And if I want to know that, I could always click on, see transition words disappear. Here it is. It's green, so it doesn't, yeah, see, it is a transit. To clarify is a transition. So you can see I have a lot more transition words than Rory does. So anyway, don't forget that this is our block and we already modified it. So this is the block we're working on right now. And you know, what I do, let me just show you. I'm gonna add a little block here and I'll just type in like some stars. 12 stars. And then I'm gonna center that. And this is gonna be a marker where I left off. So I know above this, I've already modified it. Okay. Below this, I have not. All right. So, and I'm going to show you why that's has importance. So to clarify, blah, blah, blah. And then, so keep posted. Some of them have time limits and are available to get registered. So you'll get email notifications when this is happening. Be aware of the value of members of our online connections to be a value for the members of our online community, period. Now you don't really have the form that they fill out right now. So you're gonna come to some spots in the post where it says register for our newsletter or whatever. And let me show you something right here. So your website, oh, this was the backup that we were creating. All right, so your website is 2j08.com. And I just thought of something else I need to do for you. All right, so your website started out to be a copy of this, 1f16.com. So if by chance you ever do get, you know, kind of lost, if you just go to 1f16.com and you can find it, because this post, before I started making changes, is what you had on your website. Okay, except for these ads doesn't appear there. So here it says how to benefit the most from your online community. See, online community needs to be in a heading, and this is a heading. And that's why I'm doing the second paragraph, so I can get to a heading, and then we'll change this image so I can do those three things that I need you to understand how to manipulate this. So this is Rory's. We can use it for reference, and this is yours, and we're working on this. Okay, so now what was it? I'm going back to the second thought that he has in his paragraph, because we are adding new things all the time. In fact, this is another transition. Gonna go too fast. And if you like, I missed the end, but see, we have word check. And if you get it close, yeah, spell check, I mean, and then because some of them have time limitation. He says that in that paragraph somewhere in there. So you can see now I'm starting to get more words than he has. More is better. All right. So I can almost stop here for now. Be sure to check back often because we're adding new things all the time. In fact, some of the products and service we share have time limitations. Oh, I was going to say this. Whoops, I got my fingers on the wrong keys. Oh, FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, so that's a real thing, and that's something that we use. All right, so now I have my paragraph here, right? And his paragraph is been changed. So I click inside his paragraph and I click the three dots. And then I come to the bottom of the list and delete his paragraph. And don't forget to save your work. Okay, so I need to move the bar that you were having trouble with yesterday when I was having you share your screen. Okay, so this is my marker. And you can move these blocks around on your pages too. So that's why I make a marker here. And I just use these up down arrows, and I'm going to use the down arrow and put it down below that paragraph. And I'll leave it there until I finish modifying the next thing. Right? So that's a real handy way, and nobody knows. Let me save this and I'll show you what it's looking like right now. So just so you'll know that this is not, and you'll start out slow just like I'm doing it, but when you get in, I call it wrap my mind around it. You know, once I get my mind wrapped around it, I can go pretty darn quick. And in fact, the other day on my study hall, I created a whole page with people there because I needed to do something. So anyway, now those are two paragraphs, and those are the blocks that we changed. So if you want to view your post, I'm going to show you this right here because this appears on the pages. It's not, this is the only time it happens when you're viewing your post from the edit mode. Okay, so what it does is it throws the menu into the middle and the search bar all the way to the left and then the content to the right, but it's not really what people are seeing. So let me explain to you why that is. So here, when I click on view post, this is what we're really concerned with right now is this content area. So I threw this menu over here and instead of the way it's normally. But if I go to your home page, we're working on this one. We're glad you found our online community, right? That's all right. So look, his look like this. Welcome to our online community. Get ready to be impressed. And ours looks like this. We're glad you found our online community. You know, so you could say we're happy, or you could say anything, you know, that this is an online community that shares with the world or whatever, you know, just something different than what Rory says. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to see what it really looks like when people land on our homepage. So it fixes it. See, it puts it back over here, the search on the right. So let me digress just here for a minute, and we'll come back to this because I need to add something to your website. So remember I said the RRR 247, RRR is the main training. So that's rrr247.com is the main training site. So there's one called translation, and it's in my cache. So I'll just go there as soon as I type TR. So I need to put this, and I'm just going to show you this. You'll know how to do this in the future. So we need to get this code, right? So, because I want to put this on your website for you, and I'm going to show you that right now, how to do that. This is the code that we need right here. So I highlight it, and then I'm doing Control C. So if I were to right click on this, you'll see they show you the shortcut for copy right here, Control C. That's what I use. All right. Most people do it in the beginning. Copy, right click, copy. Either way, it's the two ways to do the same identical thing. Okay, now I'm going to go back to your website. That's Rory's site, and this is your site. This time I'm going to see, once I've saved this, it's not here. This is that little marker. See, that doesn't look bad. Nobody knows what it means. Only you know what it means. That's something I wanted to point out. But I'm going to put this widget, and what it is going to show up right here under this search. I lost my mouse. And it's going to be different languages because Velavita is worldwide, and we have other things that are worldwide, like the education's right now being for United States, but that it's going to be expanded. And there's other things. We sell wine. We have wine club, or it's not wine, it's wine membership. It used to be a wine club. Anyway, so I'll put it right here. So the way I do that is I go here, click on widgets, and then I need to put that code. So this left side of menu is for your home page, which is the posts. Remember, home posts. And I'm just I need a custom HTML. So when I click, this is in blocks also. So this is where you can see your different blocks that you can get, that we have access to and use. Like I use list in a lot, and Rory uses them too. So you play around with this stuff, you'll figure it out. Anyway, what I need to use is a custom HTML and it's not showing. So if I just type in custom, see it shows up. All right, so as long as I know what I'm looking for, and now I can paste that code in there. And then I update this. So now when I go to your website, visit your site, there it is. Right now it's being displayed in English. And you know, so if you wanted, it says the name of the translation in that native language. So like Magyar is Hungarian, for instance. My wife was born in Budapest, so I know that. So if now this website just got translated into Hungarian. You see, so a Hungarian person could literally read what you wrote. All right, so that's the translation widget and it's there. And but here's the point. Let me go back to English before we do anything. And it's, yeah, like Netherlands is for Dutch or whatever. But the people who are reading it, like Filipinos, know that's what it is. Bottom line is that's that little widget. But watch what happens when I go to one of your pages. Let's say I take a look at your affiliate disclosure page. It's not there. So I'm just pointing this out, and it's good for your subconscious to know this. You may not remember it, doesn't matter. No, this is 1F16 here. So what I need to do now is add it to the rest of the website. Right now we have it only on your home page right here. So I still have that code on my clipboard. If not, I left it open. I can always come here and just copy it again right here. It's already highlighted. I would just click on that tab and do Control C, and now it's back on my clipboard. If let's say I use my clipboard, so as long as that's open, I can keep that there. And I'm getting ready to close that one. I'd like to close stuff when I'm done with them. So anyway, then we go over here. Now let me show you another way to get to widgets. Instead, I use that shortcut way, but from your dashboard, it's really here under Appearance, and it's here Widgets. Okay, so now we go back to where we were when we added this code. But we need to, and there's really no rhyme or reason why it says left side of menu. You just got to know that that's what it is. So left side of menu is your home page, right side content bar is the rest of your website. All right, so all of the other pages. So I need to add that block or that HTML code right here. So I need a custom HTML block. I click the plus sign, and now the custom HTML selection is there because I already used it. So whatever, I mean, they don't disappear. I mean, they do disappear, but you're easy to find that way. Okay, so now I paste that in there and update. And then I'm done with that. I digressed. It's good for you to see how that's done. It really is not that complicated. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so now we go back to your visit site and watch what happens now when we go to your affiliate disclosure. There it is. So it's really that simple. You just got to have the right code and you just put it in the right spot and it works. So we're going to turn these two things off because I don't like to use up my memory. All right, so now we have this here. No, this is 1F16. I know that because our page has a marker on it. So we have, go to home right here. And this is where we left off. We were working here with the marker. All right, so now we have all this stuff working good. And your form is going to show up here. That's part of the vortex. That'll come in our session 2. This is still part of session 1. So anyway, let's change this image. All right, so there's ways to understand here. Go back to your dashboard and the media. These are the images that are part of your website. All right, so all these images are already all part of your website and they're being used. Some of them are being used. Some of this stuff I think is left over. I don't know. You can delete it. If you do, you take a chance that it might not be there when you get to that page. You'll have a broken image link. So they're not hurting anything. This is in your dashboard. It's not on your website. I mean, it links it from the media, this area, media library. It links it to your your web page is what I'm trying to explain here. So I'll go back to your posts, all posts. I'm kind of going different ways to do the same thing. So, I mean, I apologize for that. It gets confusing, I know. But when I go to posts, all posts, we're working on your first post. As long as you know what you're working on, it shouldn't be that big of a deal to get back to it. And then you're going to edit this. I showed you how to do it by clicking on and we're here, and we left this marker here. So this is a heading. Remember I said this symbol, and if you hover over it says heading, so you'll know. So, and we needed online community in our heading. So we can do the same thing we did a minute ago. You can click at the end of the content and hit enter, but it doesn't give us a heading block. So there's a solution for that. It's called transform. So right now it's a paragraph block, and it doesn't really show the menu until you put some content in it. So we want to use the term online community. Let's read what he has to say. How to benefit the most from our online community and the resources of it made available to you. Actually, you don't want to use made because that's past tense, okay? So okay, so headings are not really sentences usually, but sometimes he does it. So anyway, this following content is going to talk about, I happen to know that, like step one, be aware of the category pages. So, he kind of explained, and it'll make sense as you go down through it. And if you want to write it differently, write it differently. Okay, so now in order to transform this to a heading, I could just click this paragraph symbol and click heading, and now it's a heading. But his is an H2, an H3, I mean, and ours is an H2. So we want to make it an H3 and be, or we could make it an H2 if we wanted. That type of thing is not that important. And as far as Google eyes, you make it the way you like. This is it needs to be, rewritten or modified into your own type of, what you feel like is looking good or feeling good or whatever. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and this is the settings over here. So this block right now is active right here. And we have Yoast, which is the two parts, readability and SEO, and then settings. So there's two parts to this editing mode. And depending on what's active, these different options are changing. So if we wanted to change the color of the text to what Rory has, we can just do that and click it, the same button that he clicked. Now our heading is this is how to benefit from our online community. It's kind of close to what he has. This is how to this is how to learn from our online community and all the things we are sharing. So the rest of it, he said resources available. Okay, so anyway, now what I do is I click in his paragraph, click the three dots, go to the bottom of the list and click on delete. Now his paragraph is gone and my paragraph is there. All right, I mean heading, I said the wrong thing, erase that. All right, so it was a heading that we did. I wanted to do, so I did two paragraph blocks. I did the title. I changed the title on the first post and the first paragraph of the first post, the second paragraph of the first post, and the first heading. Okay, so now we're going to move our marker down by clicking in it, making it active, and use the down arrow button. And now we're modified down to this point, so we'll save it. But the reason I digressed and went to the media library, so because I wanted to show you how this works. So if I click this, now this menu is talking about this image. And this little symbol always tells you what it actually is. So, and it also, this, on an image, it outlines it right away. At any rate, that's what an image looks like. And we can click on the word replace and we can say, okay, let's look in our media library, or we could upload our own image. All right. So as you move forward and you want your own images on there, you'll do it that way. But for now, let's just change the image. And so this is where you would drop a file. If you had it, you'd have to save it onto your computer and then just click on you. But these are two tabs, and this is one is for the media library that I just showed you a minute ago. Okay, so now we can come down and find, so online community. What sounds good for online community? Well, she's online. I saw one I liked this one. This is a new edition. This must be on another page, but let's just use this image. All right, so we'll select that and we'll click select. And now we have this girl, but she's distorted. So let's fix that. It's distorted because of this down here, right? Square aspect ratio. That was talking about the old image. We want to get rid of that. So we want to just be original. All right, so the original image used to look like that. Now it's a little bit small, and I think we can make the girl a little bit bigger, and she looks pretty good. She's got her online thing going there. It looks like she's using her credit card. So whatever, if it doesn't, not something you like or don't want that there, you change it. At any rate, there's another thing about this. And one is when I have it selected, remember we did the images yesterday with the links? So there's no link on here. So it'll just take them to the picture. I'll show you in just a second. So you don't have to have a link on an image, especially on your home post, because you're not really sending them anywhere anyway. But once you have your vortex, you could send it there, to the vortex, to the form that they fill up to sign up for your website or for your business. At any rate, there is something that's missing here. And that is, remember we talked about the focus key phrase? Well, Google expects the focus key phrase to be part of the alt text. So in the very least, on the alt text, so the alt is now, it's under the settings. Remember when you hover over, it shows you what it is. Settings, and it's right here. So what it is, it's what the reader, if a blind person comes to your website, the reader will read the image. So online community, and then I would say girl girl shopping online. Something like that. Or you can just leave just the focus key phrase would be plenty. But I know what it's going to be used for, so why not give them a little idea? Whatever. All right, so then you can play around with these, but the easiest way to resize something is just with this, right? Like I did, okay? So just get it close to what you like. We don't want to have too big of pictures because the point is that I'm going to save this. And now we're modified down to this point. Okay, so view post. And remember I told you changes it when you're on your post. View your post. All right, so the quick way to go back instead of going from your dashboard would be just come down here to where the date is and click on edit this. And as long as you're logged in, you see that black bar, you can get right back to where you were by that edit this button. And now the next thing is if you're looking to gain the most of your online community here, take the following steps. So you would just rewrite that and move your cursor down and just do it this way. If you do it that way, move your marker down. If you do it this way, now if I didn't make any changes, I could just leave. And if I want to go right to your site, instead of going to view post, I can click here. All right. So that's where you're at with the training, you're going to be on the master page and doing these first two videos. I think you said you watched this one, Google Backup. I did explain what that means. And this is the one where he's going to start talking about modifying the posts that we're just working on right now. So you have a extra video on that. And see, it's already starting to look different. Remember, it looked when I was 16 looked like this. And yours is, but it's very similar. So with the structure and all this, so it's called ascension marketing. You read about it in the book, and that's where our consensus marketing. Let's put it that way. It has to do with people just get familiar with something. They see it over and over. They think it must be big because it is. So that's why we actually are helping one another by all having the same, type of structure. And then when somebody that's been on one of our sites lands on your site, oh yeah, I remember this. I could look over here. What do they have now? I wonder what they've added here under clothing and apparel or something like that. So we do benefit because people don't always make purchases right off the bat. They need to see the same thing over and over. All right, now the last thing I was going to do, added your widget. I added this. I showed you how to modify this. I explained that. I explained how to set up your drive. And he does it in the videos. So that was really supplemental to what the video trainings are. Can't think of anything. Just don't forget to move your mark. If you get stuck, let me know. I don't even have to call you. Oftentimes I can type it out what you need to do. You know what I mean? To fix where you're stuck. But before I stop my recording, I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, I think you did say you had thought of a name for your business.
Um, not really.
Okay, so just for instance, I had another student. He says, "Well, can you send me some examples of other people's websites that are doing this, that are leadership or whatever, people that are having success doing it." So I did, and we all want to change our name, and the way you do that is here under Appearance, Customize, and then instead of going to Widgets, I went to Customize, and it's right here, Site Identity. So right here, you'll just change the site title. You could say something like Lamont's Sharing Station. I don't know. I just made it up. All right. So it's Lamont's Sharing Station. And then you would click this publish button. I'm not going to do that because then it'll turn into Lamont's Sharing Station. And then you would change the tagline. A lot of people, they don't bother changing this. I changed mine. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when I leave this without saving it, WordPress is probably going to say, hey, wait, do you want to actually leave? So if I did want to save my changes and I see this blurb, and it'll do the same thing when you're working on your pages and your posts. If you see this and you do want to leave without saving it, you do what I am about to do, click cancel. If you don't want to save it, if you don't want to save it, you just click OK. And if you do want to save it, you click cancel and you go back and click the publish in this case, because publish, it's going to change everything, your whole website, not just one page. When you click on the save button. So, oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. All right. So last thing here is after you finish those posts, the 2 posts and the affiliate disclosures and the contact us page, the contact us is here, and we have all of our pages have a little reference to the contact us page. So he has that in the video. I don't know. I'm not going to really start, but it's the same process that we just went through on the post. Okay, you just go down through here, change the words up. That's about as simple as I can make it. And then you're working on your anchor offer number 1 pages. So the way you find those is when you go to health and fitness and you click on the category page, And then the anchor offers here. I know I showed you this yesterday. We did this one yesterday with just the links. All we changed was the links, remember? So yeah, Lamont 62, and when you open it, it clicks there and become a customer, and then up here at the top, it says Lamont Liggins. So that's your link, Lamont 62. At any rate, all those different, I'll go back. Now there's always more than one way to do the same thing, right? I know I was on my category page, so I just click my back button. I go right back where I was. All right, so now you have biohacking with a light mist. You have brain food, that's the brain page for the supplement. Coffee is for the plus. It's the creamer additive. I usually just mix it in a 6-ounce glass of water and then drink my coffee without it because it's kind of strong and I don't really like the flavor of it too much. But the rest of them, I like the flavors of. The EMF protection, that's one of the Velveeta products, tuned. And gut health, that's Biome. That's one of the Velveeta products. You're not going to do anything with this page right now. You're not going to do anything with this page right now. You're going to do this Sleep and Slim, biohacking. And remember, I was told you, once you get going, you're going to have plenty to do. You're not going to be needing to spend time with me that much unless you don't understand something. And then the youth is the last one. So all those pages need to have not only their links changed, but they need to have the content, the words rearranged or changed over as well. So, I mean, like here's the youth. If I click on, I go to the youth page, and then, here, this is the video. So let me click on edit. So now you have this button on pages. We're no longer on posts. So edit page, and it just goes back and forth with this button right here. And you did it yesterday. I was watching you, so it should be familiar with you. But the first thing you do is you look at the key phrase. So it's pretty easy. You just need to use youth. So youth needs to appear in your title, and needs to appear in the first paragraph sentence of the first or second sentence of the first paragraph, and needs to show up throughout your content. So an easy way to find that is if you did Control F and typed in youth, it's already there. It'll highlight all the different places where the word youth appears. And so it should be in one of the headings. Remember, I told you about the headings need to have at least one of the headings, H3 or H4, H2 or H3 heading needs to have youth in it. Now, you don't have to have everything 100%. All right, so he doesn't have everything 100%. Oh yeah, here it is in the heading here. All right, this is a paragraph. So but if you look at the SEO analysis, it'll say one of these recommendations is key phrase in subheading, right? It's missing. They know that it's missing, but it's not, as long as you're green overall is my point. You know what I mean? You don't really have to get too particular and make everything perfect. You can waste time doing that if you want. As long as it's green, you're good to go. And once you learn how to do it and understand all the different nuances of, there's not a lot to learn. For instance, this key phrase needs to appear in 5 different places. I'll go over this on a recording. The key phrase needs to appear in the title, needs to appear in the first, second sentence of the first paragraph, needs to appear in a heading. This particular one doesn't have it. You could add it right here. This is all about youth. And then all about, you just put something like this. And you could qualify it for that because that's an H3 heading. Okay, so just by doing that, now watch when I click on SEO analysis, that subheading thing is gone. See, right here was the second one. Linking key phrases, all these different ones, they're red. I wouldn't worry about it. As long as it's green overall. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as it's green overall, eventually you'll know what it's asking. So it needs to be in a heading. And it should be, of course, on an image, you're going to want it on the alt text. So here he has it here. And then throughout the text, we already highlighted it a second ago. And then the last place is in the meta description. And the meta is down here at the bottom. And you do want to change this up too. So you can just you're going to rewrite the first or second sentence, the first sentence. If you make this thing too short, it'll be orange. And if you make it too long, it'll be orange. So this right here, meta, is what people see when they search. And if you want to see what their search results look like, it's right here. So this is the mobile result. It pulls up that image. When somebody searched and came up with your page on their device, it would look like this. A desktop result would look like this. Okay, so they don't really use images on desktop result. Okay, and desktop, laptop, same thing, right? It's a different type of computer. It's displayed differently. So you have that option to see what it would look like. It always going to pull the first image off of your whatever. He only has this one image on the whole page. So that's that. And that's what I wanted to show you really was where you're going to, now if I leave, watch what happens. When I'm going to go back to your website right here, it's going to say, wait, you made some changes, you didn't save them. And I'm going to say, that's okay. I know that. I want to leave. And it'll go back to what it was before I was there showing you. All right. So if you want to, if you get too far away and say, oh man, I didn't want to do all that, just leave the page and go back to what it was saved the last time. You can do it that way. Sometimes when you do that, what'll happen is you'll end up with a little blurb about there's a auto save version because WordPress is trying to help you out. Let me see if it's there. Yeah, see this? So you could go back if you forgot to click on save and your computer crashed or something, then you can view what the autosave was. I know what it was because I added that word youth, or you can just close this off. So that's really valuable because people don't know what that is talking about. And that he doesn't really cover that. So that autosave comes up because I left the page without saving it. All right. Now, if I view the page, I should have probably clicked view again right then instead of just do that. Let me see what happens. Yeah. So you see what I'm doing here? I'll click this off. And now I'm going to go ahead and click save. So it gives a new updated version of what we just did. And now so this button, when you're on pages, it's back and forth easy. It's here, it's edit. Okay. Back and forth right here. As long as you're logged in where it says Howdy Lamont, you can work on your website. And that's pretty much the way what I wanted to show you was that those are the things you're going to be doing next. So how long do you think that's going to take you?
Well, let's see, we're talking a
You got
couple
like
of videos and
I'm kind of joking. I think you're going to need my assistance before we actually jump ahead and start signing up for other affiliates and working on other pages. So don't pressure yourself and don't hesitate to ask me questions. Okay, but we're really not going to go into getting you more affiliates. Right now you got plenty to do is my point. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And you will get through this thing. I started out with 118 pages. Your website only has I know it seems like a lot. Let me explain something to you. So it shows you right here. By the way, here's another way to go to posts right here. Your two posts, right? And so that goes posts, all posts. Then pages, all pages. Looks like this. It's a list of all the pages, but it also includes all the category pages. And they're fairly easy to modify because, it's just one little paragraph about that particular offer. Just say like if you're writing the category, the little paragraph about the category, say, oh wow, we've discovered the Fountain of Youth. Check out this offer or whatever. Something really simple. Do you feel old? Or, you can say it however you want to say it. It doesn't really matter. The more you do it, the easier it'll get. But I wouldn't really worry about that. Category pages, I see people get sidetracked all the time doing this. And really, when you get back here to the main RRR 247 and start moving forward on step 2, please go in order and do not skip ahead, complete each step. And you click on step 2. Affiliate programs. Well, let's see what step 2. I don't really, he changes all the time too. Roy fixes to fix it. So it's not even working right. This is where he was doing the arts and see, he's doing the category pages in these videos. I was on this training that he recorded all this. Oh, I know what he's talking about here. The Rory to fix this. It used to say something here and now it doesn't. He just put this. He just put that as a reminder for himself, but the videos are still good. So this is where he'll start talking about arts and
Right,
entertainment.
here on to step 2. Now, step 2 is where we complete all the rest of the offer pages that include our kiosks and everything that's not our anchors. We've already completed.
So there you go. That's why I say this right here is kind of like this RRR main page is kind of like you're going back to this, and then there's going to be a whole bunch more to do after that. So right now, if you just do what I just mentioned, those Bella Vita pages and that two posts and the contact us and the trust me, I know how it feels because when I first started, I'm like, how am I going to be able to do this? I don't know how to write, but it gets easy. Just pretend you're talking to your buddy and type it out that way. That's all. You don't have to be an English scholar or anything. Some of my stuff I read it and I say, it doesn't sound that great, but it's content, it's out there. So like I'll show you, for instance, I did this page on the Thursday study hall, and it was this one, wine for all occasions, because I want to advertise this for Christmas. And this is, so it doesn't sound exactly right. I mean, whatever. But there's my link, and then when they click on it, they fill this out. They're forever my customer, not somebody else's. So when they order wine, I get the commission off of it. And then that's all part of the vortex. This is part of that. And this is what I was talking about, register here. So if you want to take a look at what I've done, here's the video that we have on our wine pages. So he just recently did that. Long story short is it's a lot to learn. It's nothing hard, Lamont. It's just a lot. And the reason I know so much is because I've been doing it for a long time, yeah. But anyway, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Well, I'll say I'll do the bulk of whatever. Probably starting tomorrow. I've been up since 2 a.m.
I know.
and
I get up at 5:30 in the morning, so I know how you feel. I'm not pressurizing you. You get to go as fast or as slow as you want. Okay. So it's up to you, but I want to make sure I'm here for you when you need answers or have any questions or something like that. You just let me know and we'll get on a screen share if we have to, or I might be able to just send you a screenshot. In other words, a picture of what it is that you're looking for, something like that.